This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
You know how sometimes the first play of the game can be a real tone setter?
Aussie.
Yeah, I basically just went with Ashton Jen Teabag.
NFL.
He's not a walking 7 for 70 as I learned last week when he went 1 for 5.
Fantasy.
I'd probably lean towards taking Henry maybe ahead of McCaffrey just because of what I've seen.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Loading.
Australia's premier NFL fantasy football show is back on a Sunday for the Aussie Gridiron Network. This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. They call me Matty C, and tonight with me, it's once again returning to the fold, Australia's finest fantasy analyst. We missed you a lot last week, by the way. Taylor Goodall. How are you, mate?
Matty, it is Sunday, and tomorrow on Monday, the boys will play. Let's go. Cannot wait.
Are they going to lay by the bay and eat some hay and make things out of clay?
Bit of Happy Gilmore for you on week 1, baby. Let's go.
But just side note, real quick, have you seen the new Happy Gilmore?
I have.
Yeah.
I got a lot of haste because so what happened was a lot of people saw it before me and I heard how bad it was. Like I was just getting nothing but just negativity about the movie. So when I went into it, I was already kind of expecting nothing. So when I watched it, initially I was like, you know what? That wasn't that bad. I actually was telling all these people all these reasons why I didn't mind it. And then, you know what? I had a breakdown of someone and they were like, oh, but what about this character? I was like, yeah, that character was pretty shit. Oh, what about this point? Yeah, that point was really shit. Then I'm like, you know what? It was pretty fucking shit. I think I had such a low bar for what I expected in that movie just from what everyone had told me. And I just always have low bars for these remakes or sequels from a long time ago. And I just never had a high expectation in the beginning. So, yeah, I didn't exactly think it was an amazing movie, but did it hit like the bar I had that was incredibly low? Sure.
Oh my gosh, I'm terrified to watch it because it is my most watched movie outside of the Back to the Future movies. This is the most watched movie. I can recite the whole thing line by line, and I'm terrified to stymie that memory. Mate, we have got a special guest with us who I feel like needs to weigh in on this subject. If you caught the Friday show, you'll be familiar with Jackson, but if not, I'm okay with you stopping now and going back and catching it because this guy, he brings a whole bunch of insight and he has some cracking stories in the 5 questions. Jackson, welcome back to the show, mate.
Welcome.
Boys, thank you for having me. I love the show Friday. How good was the Friday-Saturday game? I am pumped for the tomorrow morning.
Oh, my God. What a great start to the season. And, mate, we're talking Happy Gilmore and you wander off mic while we're talking and you come back with what?
I got the limited edition Happy Gilmore putter.
That's so good.
Especially, I got real lucky with this one. It comes with the sock. I've still got it wrapped. I don't want to use it.
Off.
I was actually 6th in line on the call list for Drummond, and the 5 people ahead of me didn't answer their call. Old mate called me about 3 minutes before they shut on a Friday and said, you were 6th in line, the 5 ahead of you. We called them all. None of them answered. I answered. Boom, picked it up the next morning.
Not even low key. I am very jealous. It's the kind of garbage I would love to have in my house, but my wife would just be like, no. We are in a single level townhouse. There is none of that.
My wife wasn't stoked, but it was the week after my birthday, so I kind of violined it a little bit and got lucky.
Yes. Tay, is that the move?
Oh, mate, I'm just fully erect right now. Like, talking about Happy Gilmore, we're going to be watching more NFL on Monday, mate. I just couldn't be in a better spot right now.
I can just imagine Tay being like to Sarah and being like, it was only my birthday in April and I really want this. Can I get it as a gift? I can hear him playing the violin too.
Oh, answer me! Suck my white-ass ball!
So we're off to a tearing start here on the Sunday show. Jackson, thank you again for everything you brought to the to the Friday show. The Sunday show is a change of pace. We're going to talk to a few start-sit decisions, and we've got a big segment that Tay and I take so seriously for you to participate in the starts of the week. Taylor's given you a bit of insight to what that's like. What's the intimidation level? Are you feeling up to it?
No, I'm excited. I'm going to piece together this is my bread and butter here, just putting misfits together and making some sort of, we've all seen the Benchwarmers movie, right? We are on, baby.
I'll tell you, he doesn't sound ruffled at all, mate. Are you sure we picked the right guest to beat up on week 1?
No, it's not great. I would have liked Bowen to be a little bit more intimidated, but basically get me off to a good start because I had my worst starts of the week season of all time last year. So I would love it if Jackson just decided to fumble this bag early. It'd be absolutely fantastic.
Wouldn't it? After we had Kev come in and just clean us up in week 1, and then Brendan follow suit in week 2 last year, and we kind of look at each other going, we're fucking down 2-0. Like,
Yeah,
what's going on here?
You do make a good point. It can't really go any worse than the first 2 weeks last year, so it makes me feel a little bit better.
I mean, we recovered it, but gee, it was a slap to the face, and I'm just terrified now that Jackson's just walking in here with all the confidence in the world. He's just going to dish us up a big old L.
Yeah, I like to say that it was my best ever NFL fantasy year in terms of my league, so I was hoping that had an adverse effect on my starts of the week game. So, mate, I'm back raring to go this year. No excuses. I just want to fucking get that title back, mate. I want that bronze Shaq dick.
Yeah. Tay, actually, in the off-season, you might not know this, Jackson, but last year he took the loss of starts of the week so seriously because it's a segment Tay created in 2021. We restructured it to be something really cool in 2022 and 2023. He went and won it both those years. Then last year he didn't win it, and in the off-season he's got a sports psychologist. He's out there doing push-ups, hill repeats. He's changed his diet. He's all in. He is Jerry Jones all in for it this year, mate.
Yeah, I changed my diet. I eat 4 burgers a day instead of 2. So I'm really bulking.
All I hear is violins, mate. I'm not going to hold back.
Okay. We're looking forward to kicking that off in a second. But what I want to do is we need to talk to the people out there. They've stuck with us all this preseason. They've drafted their teams, and now they've got decisions to make. I know there's a lot of folks who have drafted their teams, and it can be very easy to look at it and just go, oh, I'll just start them in the order I drafted him. But it's not that easy because now we are talking matchups, and I've got a few that need some judiciary rulings on them. I'm going to drag in the mailbag. Let's do it. First one comes from... Hang on a second. This one here. Okay. First one comes from @Tom. And Tay, he's got classic Marvin Harrison versus New Orleans or Emeka Egbuka versus Atlanta. This is all South. What's going on here? There's a lot of South in this decision.
Oh, it's a tough one, right? Because it's like, I think it has to be Marv. Like, you drafted him as your wide receiver too. Like, depending on the way that you did your draft, you may even have had to have taken him as your one. Like, he kind of was going up draft boards, sort of at the end of draft season there, where people were getting super high on him. So
yeah,
I can't imagine how you ever not playing him when you've drafted him that high. And Egbuka would have been probably a fair bit lower. I understand why this is an actual decision because you probably have Egbuka on your bench. But, yeah, look, I do really, really like Egbuka's matchup against Atlanta. I think they are very beatable defense. But in saying that, I just think the Cardinals are going to be able to move the ball on this Saints team. I know we talked about Kyler and how much he pisses us off on the Friday show, but I do think they are going to move the ball on the Saints. The Saints aren't going to really put up a fight against a lot of teams, and I just think you have to play Marv. You've drafted him to be your guy. There are obviously plenty of reasons to believe a second-year breakout is coming, so I just don't think you can draft Marv in that situation and bench him in week 1.
Kind of tricky, though, because, I mean, 2 things. 1, fuck the Cardinals. 2, Egbuka's kind of sexy, right, Jax?
Yeah, I'm a big Egbuka guy, and I think it's not so much the Egbuka-ness. I'm a big Baker guy. Baker just throws the pill. Baker's fun to watch, but in this particular head-to-head, I do think Marvin is the play.
Okay.
I think he was a little underperforming last year, whether it was on him, whether it was on Kyler, whether it was on whatever. I think Marvin, he's better than what we saw last year, and I think he's going to want to prove that a little bit early on. So in this particular matchup with who they play in week 1, I'll be on the Marvin train too.
I'm going to poll on this one and go, you know what? We think Marvin Harrison is an excellent wide receiver. He's a wide receiver 1 on his team, and we all believed in him last year. He was drafted as a top 10 wide receiver last year. He didn't perform like that, but we think he's the guy there, right? So start him. Start him until he shows you he's not. Egbuka, you're just going to look like an idiot if he goes out and throws up 25 points and Egbuka gets you 12. You're just going to feel like an idiot. So, you would be better going the other way around and seeing Egbuka throw up a big score and just go, well, you know what? I started with a guy who I expected to have a good target share, and he didn't. It's I think, easier to look at yourself in the mirror on Monday night after Marvin Harrison blows up, like you might think, rather than having him sitting on your bench when he does that. So just maybe don't overthink it there, Taylor Tom. Second one from Jerry Gong, at Jerry Gong. Hey, that's near you, isn't it, Jerry Gong?
Bit of Gerringong, that's a Pete Neal special.
Pete
Neal's from the Gong, from Gerringong. So they're also, for whatever reason, they just pump out NRL players. They just the amount of NRL players that have debuted from the Gerringong Lions would honestly blow your socks off if you actually knew the number. It's incredible. So yeah, shout out Gerringong.
So Gerringong, and this is Jerry Gong. It's GERRYGONG, Jerry Gong. Like, I don't know how early you had to get in to get that handle, but here we go. Question is, ETN versus Carolina or Chubb at the LA Rams? What are you doing here, Jackson? Faith in either?
Not really.
It's got to be a deep league, doesn't it?
Oh, my days. If you're forced to be starting both of these, you're either really new to this sport or someone has played you for a fiddle with some trades. But I'd start Etienne. I think he's got a bit more potential. I think Chubb, how you can't trust him, right? Like, I've heard rumors that he can't even lateral turn and things like that. So just off the basis of what he's going to sort of put out, I think Etienne has to be the play. I don't know what we're going to get out of Trevor Lawrence, right? So I think Etienne's going to get more opportunity. I'd dig deeper into your bench there, G-Gong, but if we're only stuck between the two of these, I would run Etienne.
It's clearly Etienne to me. It's not even close. To be honest, a huge reason of it is the matchup. The Carolina Panthers gave up the most points to the running back position last year. They were dead last at defending the running back position. I know technically Etienne's probably projecting more as the third down back or the guy catching passes, and it's probably more like Tank Bigsby sort of running between the tackles. But I think Etienne will at least get some work on the ground, and I think that's going to be a high yards per carry situation, even with a bad offensive line. I just think you're going to be able to run on this Panthers team quite easily. So, yeah, I would easily play him because I just don't know what to expect out of this Texans backfield anyway. If it was just Chubb and you knew clearly he was the lead back and he was going to get a workhorse role, sure, but you just don't know what the mix of carries between Chubb and Pierce and Woody Marks is apparently going to be stepping in for the third down role. There's just a clusterfuck of arseholes there, and they've got a horrendous offensive line, and they just have a worse matchup against the Rams. So, yeah, I'm taking ETN pretty easily there, but I'm with Jackson. If this is really your decision, you're in big trouble.
All right, Jerry Gong, good luck with that one. The last one comes from Cheeky Chops 11. 10 Cheeky Chops before Cheeky Chops 11, apparently. This will be one that might be a bit close to Jackson's heart. I'm a little tired of the Seahawks, mate. Cooper Kupp versus the 49ers or Zay Flowers at Buffalo. What do you do with this one?
I don't even know how he's come to a conclusion of. You have to take Flowers for pureness of the Ravens are just a point scoring team, and you would imagine that matchup is going to be 30-30 type of game. But at this point, the thing with Flowers is he's underperformed every single year. He's never lived up to his expectations. So he's annoyingly disappointing for where people sort of take him and what he sort of puts up. But I don't know what we're going to get out of Cooper Kupp. I don't know how old he is. I don't know how old he's going to look. I don't know what he's going to... he's obviously in a position where he's going to get probably looked at from a safety perspective. But, Zay Flowers needs to be the decision in this one just based on the pure high-poweredness of Baltimore. But I don't like him personally.
Okay, you don't like him either.
I sure don't, and I'm so glad I'll never, ever have to be in this situation, Matty, because I'll never be staring down a Zay Flowers v. Kupp because I don't have a single share of either of them. I technically have a share of Kupp in a dynasty league because I don't have a choice. He's just been there.
He's there.
He has been an amazing asset since I had that dynasty team when he was at the Rams, but he's sort of just dying on my bench in that dynasty league, I think. But yeah, I'm not a big Zay Flowers guy. I've just always had problems. I think there's generally an issue for me with the Ravens passing attack. Like I brought up with you that a guy that I've faded for a lot of years is Mark Andrews at his AP. There's just something about this team where they can run the ball so well and they lead in games so often that there just never seems to be these amazing game scripts to pass. Now, I will say I would take Zay Flowers in this game because against Buffalo can keep up. If anything, there's a chance Buffalo might be in front in this game. So this is like the kind of game that projects where there might be a decent pass catcher for the Ravens. So I'm taking Flowers for sure. For starters, he would have been drafted higher than Cup. I just think you take your guys that you drafted higher. I don't love Flowers as a full season projection, but I think in this game specifically against Buffalo, I know if you looked at the matchup on paper, it's not great because Buffalo has a good defense, but I look more for the pass catches for game script. I look more for games where it's going to be higher scoring and closer for the situation for Flowers. So this is the kind of game he could do something in, but I do not like him full season, and I can understand why this question's being asked, but I would go Flowers.
Fuck me, what kind of bag of assholes did you have to lick to get into this position? This kind of sucks. So good luck there, cheeky chops. Maybe it's a 2 flex, that kind of thing. So we'll see how that all pans out. But thank you so much, lads. It's always fun to get into the mailbag and kind of work out some of the predicaments that folks have found themselves in.
Born in the heart of the earth, shaped by fire, wind, and time itself, this trophy is no mere prize. It is an artifact of legend, passed through the hands of kings and conquerors, scholars and sages. Its worth measured not in gold, but in the wisdom it bestows. Now it rests with us, the chosen stewards, entrusted to guard its legacy. Only he who offers the truest insight, the boldest foresight, shall lift it high and claim his place among the immortals. This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show, starts of the week.
We are ready to kick off a segment. Tay, this is probably the segment, not even segment, this might be the event that happens in my week that is closest to my heart. And I don't know, I've got young family, I've got extended family, I've got other things in my life that are important, but starts of the week, I can't tell you what it meant to me to get that trophy off of you last year. It brought tear to my eye. I cradled that thing like a baby for a good 3 or 4 days after you gave it to me. I'm keen as fuck to defend my title against you.
It just feels like another league. Like one that we care about a lot. Like, I know it's only technically like 3 people at once and it's on a podcast, but it's something that we've sort of changed every year and we've made it our own, and it's not something that like every podcast does. It's a little bit different, obviously, aiming at the guys that are less than 50% started, and it is just a kind of a cool game that we've kind of just changed over time. And we'll get into it in a second, but we've even added some new sort of rules to the game this year that it just keeps it new and exciting, and it's just something that you and I really want to do because we put our time and effort in trying to do the research and the matchups and everything like that. So, mate, we definitely take it seriously, and it's awesome that we can get the guest on and basically, be part of Team World, and it gets everyone in the group chat and everyone that we've had on the podcast talking and interested every single week.
And I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it, right? Is that it first started out as you and I just trying to pick players we thought were going to break out in the week and pitting them against each other. And now it's turned into this thing that no podcast does this. They certainly don't have guests come in and have a crack at it. Jackson, you've sort of got an appreciation for how this segment works, and you've come in kind of with the chest out, the head high. But, this is even for Taylor and I, there's some wrinkles in this year. So maybe we're not as bulletproof as we think we are. Feeling pretty confident that you can pull together a pretty good side here.
I mean, I hope so. Like you said before, I'm a little nervous. It feels like I'm in the middle of like a live, high stakes draft with the world watching. It's kind of, pick the wrong player and you could doom yourself early. So I'm excited, but I'm kind of nervous to see how it plays out with who you guys take off my board.
It's kind of what I like about, we were talking earlier in the green room about cash leagues versus non-cash leagues. And I say there's no such thing as a non-cash league. It's an ego league. And if you're not betting with ego, what are you even betting with? Cash that comes and goes. Egos forever, baby. And I know for a non-cash situation, the stakes kind of feel pretty high here. If only it was only money, mate.
I mean, this controls the audience. Do they want me back? Am I arguably just useless, right? I could just embarrass myself here. So we'll see.
We'll see. And you come in, I think, on the week where, I don't know, is it best, do you reckon, Tay, to have a guest on week 1 where the playing field's about as even as it can ever get? Or do you reckon it's better to have the burden of knowledge as the season wears on?
It sets the tone for the year, doesn't it? It's like, I think because World came in and did so well last year, it definitely set the tone for them, and they were talking shit to us in the group chat. And,
oh, my God.
And and it is different. It's hard to really know because you and I just run our own team. It must be interesting to be on and knowing that every other person that's coming behind you on the podcast, you're sort of setting the tone for how they're going to look at it. So I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a curse and a blessing, mate.
Well, it may well be. I mean, we're going to bestow upon Jackson here probably as much of an advantage as you can get for the first week. Is we did this last year as well. We gave, I guess, the opportunity to pick the draft order, and we don't know where we're picking. Jackson has kept that under close wraps. But Tay, I want you to describe to us quickly how many rounds we're doing, what positions we've got to pick, what the draft will look like in terms of snake or repeating. How does this work? Give us the mechanics.
So for anyone that was listening last year in the past, we basically just went snake draft and we just picked one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, and one tight end. But I've basically changed two different things this year. We've really tried to spice things up. And obviously we have the Supercoach Halfer and the Supercoach podcast that we do now. So we wanted to add a little bit of a Supercoach flavour to it. So the first thing we changed was we're going to have a captain. So you're going to basically have one player that scores double points in your team. But here's the kicker, and not a kicker. We're not adding kickers. That'd be ridiculous.
Thank God.
Here's the thing. Your captain is your last round pick. It has to be. So you need to make a decision. Do I pick that one guy I really, really want in the first round because I need to get him? Or do I hope no one else has them on the list and I can wait till the last round, get the double points from them and take them? So it gives a little bit of extra draft strategy. But what we've also added is that we're going to have a flex position this year. So there is obviously, so you can't have a quarterback. It's not a super flex. You can have a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end in that flex spot. So essentially we're going 5 rounds now instead of 4. But as mentioned, you obviously can't have a quarterback be your captain. So that means a quarterback can't be your last round pick. It needs to be in the first 4 rounds. And basically, 5 rounds, 1 captain. Let's go.
The classic way we've done this in the past was that you had the first 4 rounds and the 5th round mirrored the 4th round, just to make sure there was, sort of some fairness about how we went around that, especially with a flex. Are we retaining that, or is that something that's going by the wayside now?
Yeah, we'll retain that because obviously it puts a little bit of gameplay with Jackson or whoever's creating the order, where obviously the person that's picking first is then essentially getting the last pick in the last round, because then that would be the captain. So the idea is that, do you pick last in the first round and give yourself the best chance to get a captain in the last round, or do you do the opposite? So it just creates a little bit of gameplay.
Jackson now looks a little panicked. A little stressed.
It's you've changed my thinking a little bit here, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to base my decisions off what you guys do.
Classic 5 rounds of snake though, so that's easy. Have to take your quarterback in the first 4 rounds, but you're not like beholden to which round you take them in. One thing we kind of find too is that once you get to work out where in the onesie positions, if 2 of them already gone to another team, then the pressure is off in a lot of ways about when you take your onesie position, tight end or quarterback. But what kind of wrinkles it a bit is that if there's a flex now, anyone can take a second tight end. So it's that kind of puts a little more urgency on tight end. The quarterback not so urgent. So it's going to be an experiment. We're all kind of learning this together, which is kind of fun. Jackson, the moment has come, mate. Do you have an idea what you want to do with the draft order? None of us really know how this is going to play out. We're all, there's a big box of mysteries.
I think with the power, the smartest, safest thing to do is just to position myself in the middle and sort of bounce off what you two do either side of me. So I'm going to put Matty with the 1, and I'm giving Tay the 3, and I will sit comfortably in the middle and base my decisions around what you guys force me to do or hand me.
Jesus, okay. Let's get this official. Matty and pick 1, Jackson pick 2, Taylor pick 3. What this is essentially going to do is give Taylor the first opportunity to captain in the 5th round, because 4th and 5th round will repeat. Ooh, pressure. The first pick in Starts a Week for the full season. Tay, I was not prepared for this.
Yeah, and I was just going to add too, the flex just adds a different dimension because when we were picking just like one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, and one tight end, you could sort of gamify it a little bit easier. You could go, all right, the guys behind me have picked their running back or wide receiver, so I don't have to take that. I can wait till the next turn and stuff like that. But because there's a flex, and obviously thinking about captain being last round, it changes everything. You don't really have that same gamified ability. You kind of always got to be looking at best player available instead of just like realizing you don't have to pick a certain position. So it makes it a little bit having a flex.
Okay, and just knowing my draft position and what I want to do now is I don't know if this is going to work, but it's changed my thinking completely. And I'm going to go straight out of the gate. Tay, you're going to give me a big smooch on the forehead next time you see me. I'm going to take J.K. Dobbins, owned in 26% of leagues, against Tennessee as my first pick.
Fuck's sake. I literally have a heart next to him. I'm like, he's 100% who I'm taking. Honestly, I didn't think anyone would go there. I honestly thought that might have even been a chance of being a fucking captain.
Nope. Sorry, mate. That's it, J.K. Dobbins. The second Jackson put me first. You had to know that I was going to come after your sweetheart.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was going to be more someone you liked better yourself or whether you were just targeting me, but it's good to know where we're at.
Both. It's both. So, Jackson, I don't know if that is informed. Fuck all for you. I don't know what that does for you.
I mean, he was on my list. He was on my list, but I've got a few names I'm happy to sort of bounce around there.
Okay.
With my with the 1.02, I've sort of been bouncing up and down on positions here, and I kind of want you guys to play it out for me. But I'm going to go a big Baker arm game, and I'm taking one of your boys from earlier, and I'm going to take Egbuka at my wide receiver.
I love this. I tossed up about whether I should take him 101 as well. Egbuka currently started at the time I wrote him down. He was in 43-ish%. I imagine that number's still in the 40s.
40 to 45 when I got to him, so he's creeping up close, but I got him in.
I can't imagine things changing super like a lot from now till then because I feel like everyone's drafted their team. They've plugged who they want to play. There might be tiny changes here and there, but I just think at this point, if we're recording and they're under 50, it's completely fair game.
Yeah, I think if Tathra Tom starts him over Marvin Harrison, it's probably not tipping the scale, so we're okay. You're on. You get the double pick here on the snake. Double pick.
You picked well here. They were definitely two right at the top of my list. So
Jackson, we've got him rattled. We've got him rattled.
Meant to be.
About the gameplay of where I go from here, it's obviously the flex changes things a little bit.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can't really just go, all right, I need to double up a position because you're also going to factor in your captain in the last thing. Because if I go two of the same position, I'm locking in the fact that one other position is going to be my captain. So
captain your upside.
There's a lot of different things to actually think about here. So,
and you can captain your flex, right? We can captain a flex.
Flex is. Yeah.
Sweet. Good.
Can't captain a quarterback. That's the only.
That's the only one you can't captain. Yeah.
That's fine.
So I think the smart thing for me is probably to split positions here.
Ooh.
So, I'm pretty certain this guy has got the most of the role, especially from week one, just because there's a lot of question marks behind him, and he's just got a good matchup in week one. It's sort of hard to go against because I just think there's other guys on this list that I have that more question marks about whether they're even close to being the RB1 or not. I'm going to go Jerome Ford.
Oh,
he's only 12% started, but I really like his role against the Bengals.
Jackson, what do you think, mate?
He was in my flex. I do have a few names in the flex. He was one of them, but thankfully he wasn't one of the top ones, so I can live with it.
I mean, he was kind of one I was sort of if the draft order was different and I didn't get a shot at Dobbins, he was my next. Like. He was way up there for me. Just 12% against that shitty Bengals. Oh, my God. It kind of seemed like manna from heaven to me for 12%. Tate, you're still on the clock, mate. You get the second pick now.
Yeah, so, I mean, it kind of... I've got other guys even from the same team and everything that I'm kind of looking at, but it's like, I kind of took him on purpose because I sort of wanted to rule one of them out a little bit just because it kind of makes my decisions a bit easier on the other guys in that position. So... for this pick, just picking between, it becomes a question, honestly, about if you've got two guys in a position you like, which one do you think might get to the fifth round about being your captain, and which one do you really want to take now? It honestly creates a very interesting wrinkle.
A conundrum.
I'm going to go wide receiver. And I'm going to take one of my boys that I've talked about in the draft for a long time. I'm going to take Jacoby
Myers. The least surprising pick, I think.
Honestly, it was, do I wait and try and hope he gets through? But I feel like I've spoke about him so much, and the fact that you've already taken Dobbins off me after speaking about him for a lot in the preseason, it felt like that wasn't much of a chance of getting all the way through to the fifth.
No. I'm going to be just chasing players who I think are worthwhile, and it's not about who I've drafted, it's about matchups. And, I don't know how much I trust New England's secondary yet. I just don't. So he was high on my list. Jackson, you interested much in Jacoby Myers? Taylor's talked about him like they're married.
He was fifth on my wide receiver of my names here.
He's in there.
So I definitely had him there, but I guess this early I'm comfortable sort of holding back a little bit.
I mean, this puts you on the clock now, and you've got one of your wide receiver position guys taken now, and there is an option to take a second one should you so wish, but you've also got quarterback, running back, and tight end.
It's only week one base, and I'm really torn between two of them, but I'm hoping one of it makes it back to me at the flex. I'm going to be a little bit left field here, and forgive me, world team. But against the New York Giants, I am going to field Sir Austin Eckler in the Miami running back.
It's definitely on my list.
I think I've probably been the most Eckler positive through the preseason of everyone I've heard. And I've been listening around. I don't know anyone who's loved Eckler the way I have. And I was the same last year, wasn't I, Tay? I'm just sick for this fucker. What's wrong with me?
Remember, like you and I...
He's fading.
We were thinking in the preseason, and I liked them both. I was like, I actually think at their ADPs, I didn't mind both Robinson and him. And then obviously Robinson got shipped out. And I'm like, I just think Eckler's the incumbent. He's the only one I fully know exactly what his role is. So I'm like, if he gets a bit more running work and he gets all the passing work, I feel like he's the best running back there. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't see him being the old Eckler or anything, but I just think he's going to get enough workload.
I mean, that's 70%
against the Giants. Yeah,
Giants.
I'm happy taking it against the Giants. I mean, Cross-Key Merritt, there's a lot of talk he's going to take over at some point through the year, which I can probably see. But early time against the Giants, I think Eckler should get the pill a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that defensive line is probably going to be pretty good. That's not what you're drafting Eckler for. You expect him to be doing some pass catching. And
correct. I think there's going to be a lot of attention on Jaden Daniels as well. And so, yeah, a lot of defense to be watching the play action and stuff. So.
Okay. I'm going to a position no one's drafted yet. I'm going to take my quarterback. And there's a guy I hate, but he's in a matchup I kind of like. And I think I wrote eek next to his name, and I don't know I can do it. I'm going to move to... I'm going to take an unproven guy. We don't know what he's going to be like, but I'm going to take J.J. McCarthy at Chicago. Traveling on the road, in division, outdoors, he's 17% started. There's a lot of risk here. I'm doing the Taylor here. I'm trusting in the KOC offense. Mate, I've been reading over your shoulder, like you and Joycey on that great Instagram image we had of you two reading the KOC playbook or the Cock playbook. I'm in. I'm taking McCarthy.
He wasn't on my list. I don't know. I like McCarthy full year. I don't know. There's something about. I still remember the days, Matty, when I used to do a segment where I would pick out like basically a bust of the week.
Yeah.
I remember in like week 17, I decided
fancy fade.
Yeah, let's take Jefferson. Like was gonna be the fade, and like I don't know. There's just weird things about the Vikings sometimes that I get the ick, and for some reason I just feel like they're not gonna like dominate in the air in this game against Chicago. Like Chicago's got scary and got some guys that sort of do well on that side, and I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a high scoring game to me, and I just felt like McCarthy in his first proper game, there was enough of the ick for me to be at least a little bit worried about, but at the same time, it is a great passing offense. It's KOC, it's fucking Jettis. It's like, I get it. I don't know what it was. There was just something that I didn't see as an amazing upside this week.
How much do you want to talk him down? I smell a water bet.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It's not so much a waterbed. It was just for some whatever reason I had other guys that I just listed higher. And yeah,
Fair.
I like McCarthy, but I'm not trying to talk it down. I'm just saying, like, my own personal, like, reasons why I didn't put him on the list. I'm not super against it. He's got as much upside as anyone else does.
I mean, 20 points. Do you think he'll score more than 20 points?
If you, I'll go that. I'll say less if you want to waterbed that.
Yeah, I'll take 20.0 and over.
Okay.
Yeah? You're saying 20.0, under 20.0.
Yep. I feel
Week
so
one
bad.
only.
I love McCarthy. Like, I've been so in on the KOC offense, and somehow I'm waterbetting the quarterback in week one. But yeah, I am going to take under.
Okay.
I think it's the smart play.
I say JJ McCarthy is going to score more than 20 points in fantasy this week. Taylor, you say he's going to score under 20 points in fantasy this week.
Yeah, lock it in.
Log it in. Waterbet done. This is the only waterbet we've got all season. I love that we're going to do this. Weekly is going to be, I think, how a lot of these things get done this year. So there you go. Jackson, you've been here for a waterbet.
Mate, I'm excited. I don't even know which side of the fence I sit on for that one. I'm really torn because I like JJ in college, but I don't know what NFL JJ does. So I don't know what he's lucky he's got good weapons around him, but I don't know.
I like JJ too. I don't know how I ended up doing that, but it's just, I don't know. Like I said, it's about this one game. It's just a gut feel.
He's got the ick. Yeah. I don't have the ick for my tight end. I'm going to go and get my tight end because no one else has a tight end either. And I'm going to go and take a young man named Kyle Pitts, who I love like nobody else at Tampa Bay. Mate, I sort of saw what he and Penix were doing at the end of last year, and that's enough for me. I'm in on Kyle Pitts. He's currently started in 30% of leagues.
He was on my list. I had to because I was just like, if I take him late and you haven't, I just thought it'd be funny. To be honest,
it would be very funny.
The matchup's fine, and I think Penix is going to pass a lot. So go easy.
I drafted a league tonight where someone took Kyle Pitts. They're like, hey, Matty, because they've been listening and just know how much I love Kyle Pitts. So, in my face, that's what I get for not believing Kyle Pitts in that league. I'm taking him here. Done. Jackson, you are on the clock. You've got guys who begin with E, Eckler, Egbuka. Have you got a quarterback, a flex, or a tight end who also begin with E? Are you keeping the trend?
I am not. I was going to go real sneaky with the QB, but yeah, Mr. J Goff was at 49%, but I'm not going to do it because that's boring. So tough matchup, but I think his legs will get it done. So I'm going to take a Fields at a 17% at my quarterback.
Didn't have him either.
I love this, Jackson. I love this.
Give me some running action. He's going to terrorize them on the ground.
Look, you go 45% and then 17-17. You are definitely not reaching for the top shelf every single time. You're digging, mate. You're
49
stones.
on golf felt boring going 49 on golf. So let's be nasty.
I love this. You're looking under the piece of board that's been there for a long time and just seeing what's under there that's wiggling. I love it.
I should have gone my redhead friend from Friday's episode because I did talk him up, but I'm trying to mix it up.
Yeah, no, and I get into the Ronald McDonald, but mate, I had Fields on my list too, mate. I would have been fine with getting Fields if I didn't get the shot to take McCarthy. Hey, you've got Ford and Myers. They actually kind of sound both like, I don't know, Ford and Myers sounds like like a divorce attorney or something like that. Where are you going now? Because this is going to be the third and fourth round. One of them has to be a quarterback. You have to take a quarterback in one of these picks.
And Matty said, I'm going to stack that bitch up with my two positions. I kind of realised that they were both sitting there at the top of both of my lists. And Jackson, of all people, is going to love this. I'm going to stack that bitch up with Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft.
Tucker was my number one tight end option, so thank you for that. I will have to edit and adjust. What's Love's percentage?
27.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, no one's got the confidence, eh?
And Kraft at about 40. So the two of them, they were on my lists. They were. I've been talking up Jordan Love for fantasy all off-season today. You and I have been singing off the same song sheet a lot this year. It's been really fucking disconcerting, but we've been doing it.
I will say,
down with it.
The lines on paper aren't last year they were one to target, so I didn't really write down their numbers from last year because they got a lot of guys returning from injury. So I do worry that like the Lions, when they get everyone back, might actually not like be a defense to target. But at the same time, their offense should generate enough points that generally the game should have enough points anyway. So it's like I also don't see them as like this amazing defense that I'm going to shirk away from either. So I just think Liam, game one for the Packers, I just think there's an opportunity there for Love to hit the running. You and I have spoken about that. We felt like the Jacobs touchdown numbers on the ground should regress a little bit.
Not bad.
Open up for if Love actually has most of the year where he's healthy compared to last year where he wasn't. There's reason for upside this year. So I just figured pairing him and stacking that bitch up with Tucker Kraft tight end, it's a great start to the year.
Fuck yeah. And Jackson, can you argue this? It's a stack of Packers. It's a pack.
You can't argue against it. You can't do it.
No, I like it. I like Kraft a lot. So I'm quite happy with those picks for you, mate, because your team was lacking before that. I don't know if I loved the first two picks, but those two, they'll carry.
I love this when you get the tall guys arguing. This puts you back on the clock now, Jackson. And I'll quickly, Taylor's team is Jordan Love. He's got Jerome Ford, Jacoby Myers, all guys whose name begin with J. And then he breaks from that to get Tucker Kraft. So he's only got a flex to go. And he will pick first next round. He will get first crack at a captain. Your team at the moment, though, you've got guys who began with E, Eckler, and Ibuka. And then you moved up the alphabet one more notch and got Justin Fields. Do you have a tight end here?
No, we're going tight end here. And I'm going to go with someone who almost took Buffalo further in the postseason last year. Don't know if it was a bad pass from Josh, if it was a bad catch, but we are backing in Dalton Kincaid to have a banger as Josh Allen's number one guy this year.
Banger. These are the three tight ends I had on my list. Literally, I only wrote three down. Bang, bang, bang. These are the three. Dalton Kincaid, mate, he kind of had a down year last year. You got to imagine he's coming back.
He's due. With no main wide receiver there, someone has to feed, and I'm just backing him in.
Allen may not play.
Exactly. I mean, Allen went to Kincaid, right? So the biggest player that game against the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Tough catch, tough pass, who knows? But if you trust him in that situation, I'm backing him to be the guy he trusts early.
Yeah, I like it. It's just the upside shot at tight end that I think you really want to take in this segment. I just think if things work right for Kincaid and there is a bit more passing volume for the Bills, Kincaid's the kind of guy that profiles more as a wide receiver than a tight end, and he's not really used for blocking. They drafted him high to be a receiver, so I've always felt like things were going to go right. It's been super disappointing in his career so far. But there is reason for optimism. So, mate, taking this shot in week one in this kind of segment where you're picking guys less than 50% started, I think it's great.
It makes my decision really tricky because I need a wide receiver. And then I've got a flex, but I don't get to pick that straight away. It's not a snake for me now. It goes back to Taylor after this pick. And I feel like there's a guy Taylor really wants here that I would prefer to wait to see if they came back to me next round so I could captain them, because I feel like the ceiling would just blow the doors off and it'd be like, good luck catching that if this guy blows up and I get double points. But I also don't want Taylor to have him.
I don't know. I really don't know. I have a guy in mind, but I'm super not sure if it's someone you're thinking of.
I'm going to take him as my wide receiver. I'm going to take Cedric Tillman.
So he's on my list, but it's not who I'm thinking of. He's actually who I kind of ruled myself out because I took Ford.
Yeah, and because you took Ford, I thought the only reason you would take him now is if you could get double points out of him, because what does it matter? If he scores 8, that's 16, but if he scores 16 now, that's 32. And it's like, well, that's the one time we're stacking two players from the same offense who are trying to compete for the one ball on the same drive would be worthwhile. But, it does still cap your upside to take two from the same team, but there's less capping when you're doubling one of the players. And I just kind of wonder with my love for Flacco this week, he's going to throw 3 touchdowns, as we talked about on the Friday show. For this guy who's only like 4% started, he's kind of nothing. But gee, he's one of these guys who just kind of catches 2 streaky balls from Flacco and then you double it. That would be awesome. But I couldn't take the risk of you potentially taking him. So I'm taking Sid Tillman, and we're going to go back to you. Your team is Jordan Love, Jerome Ford, Jacoby Myers, Tucker Kraft. This is the first time we've done this. We all have to pick a flex now, a wide receiver, tight end, or running back, and we're going to get double the points from this player. Okay? The first captain in the history of Aussie NFL Fantasy Show starts of the week.
Yeah, fitting that it comes back around to me, doesn't it, Matty? Say, look, this isn't someone that I've specifically spruiked over the offseason. I've actually talked about another guy in the same sort of receiving room, but I do believe there is a world where this guy has a really, really good season, far better than he had last year. Kev's going to love it. Kev will give me a huge approval rating on this one. It is, I guess, a risk in a way as a captain, but I don't know. I just feel there's enough passing volume. He's going against the defense that gave up the most points to the wide receiver position in 2024. So I'm going to take Rome Odunze.
Rome Odunze, yeah.
Yeah, Bears. 46%, so he is getting super close to that 50%. But, yeah, I don't know. I am way more in on DJ Moore, but I just think there's a world where Odunze is just in on 2 wide receiver sets, and if this offense hits the ground running, or at least is a bit better than it was last year, which I think we're all sort of projecting at least that, I think there is a world where Odunze could hit the ground running this year. So, yeah, I know there is at least a bit of risk. If anything, if I had my time, I probably would rather Myers as my captain if I could flip it, but it's just not the way that the draft works. That's why doing it as your last pick is very interesting, because it's hard to know, yeah, I'd love the safety of a captain, but it's just not how the draft works. So, yeah, I'll lock in Odunze.
He never would have got you. I would have taken Myers. Jackson, you've just seen now how the captain thing works. Is there a guy who is around now that you think?
There's two. There's two that I'm comfortable taking. One feels a little safer. One feels a little riskier. I don't actually draft. I wouldn't draft him in. He's not good enough to make any of my actual starting drafting teams. Yeah. But in this particular situation, he's going to be my captain. He's 47% started, so I've snuck him in, and I do think he'll lose the starting job at some point through the year to a guy called Scadaboo, but I'm going Tracy as my flex and captain for the week 1 matchup against the Commanders.
Ooh. Hey, what do you say about this? Ty Tracy was your guy last year, but this year with Scadaboo, we really haven't talked a lot about him.
I like it. It's so similar. I haven't drafted him anywhere because I've just had real big questions about what the Giants look like, whether their offensive line holds up. If you're sharing bad offensive line running back share with someone else, it just makes it kind of weird. But I do believe from week 1, this is a week 1 projection, not for a full season. I actually do think mostly Tracy's job. So. No,
Scat's third on the depth chart, right, leading into week 1 because of injuries and stuff. And Singletary is not going to be too much of a threat. So I just think for a 1, I think Scat will have it by round, week 6, week 7 in the season. But Tracy is my guy. And depending on who you pick, I'll yell out who I was very tempted to take instead.
Well, and I wonder, right, because I'm kind of going to lean into an area that we've talked about this weekend where you've shown, a little bit of softness and fondness. So I just kind of wonder it's always tricky when you take somebody who's really unproven, but I want to take the risk, right? I've taken a really risky wide receiver who I would have been happy to captain, and I'm going to do the same here with my second wide receiver, someone who's a super big risk, but fuck me as a captain. If he has a good day, all of a sudden it kind of blows things away, and I'm going to take Matthew Golden of the Packers, and he's got against Detroit. I'm in on Jordan Love season long. I'm in on him this week. We've heard that Jackson was kind of in on them for this week. You've taken Love and Kraft in this draft. So I just kind of want to cash in if Jordan Love's going to do all right. I want a little slice of that cake, you know what I'm saying?
It's just, I find it so hard to do that with rookies. I just never know. Egg Booker I was pretty confident in, so it's pretty silly to say that I wouldn't be of Golden. It's one of these things, even with the Packers, they've got so many receivers that are in that situation. It's how does it look? But you've also got Reed that's coming off that Jones fracture, and bloody Watson looks like he's pretty much done for the year, and Dogs all kind of come in with their own ailments anyway. So it's hard to believe that Golden doesn't actually have a pretty decent role from week 1. So I don't mind it. Honestly, it's one of these situations where I'm going to be stoked with a fucking Jordan Love touchdown. I'm going to see it's Golden. He's your captain. I'll be pissed off.
There's kind of a beauty in that. Jackson, I found it hard to gauge from seeing your reaction how that went, but sing us a song. Tell us.
Ricky Pearson was the guy I was going to take for a mad upside.
Yeah.
But I left him out at
get it.
47%. But I think Golden's going to be a banger. He's going to be our number one guy for sure.
I knew you'd find it hard to argue with me, brother. I knew it.
I love him. I think he's going to be a stud.
It's interesting, because there are question marks about guys this early as well. It's like I've got guys written down, but I've put questionable next to all of it. I'm like, I can't really risk that as a captain, especially. It's like even guys like Josh Downs as a questionable tag.
I wrote him.
Darnell Mooney might not even play. Shakir, questionable tag. It's like all these guys that I kind of like for week one, but I'm like, I can't take that risk, especially at the end of the draft for my captain. So, yeah, it was super interesting, this draft, because it really brings up some different things that we've done from other years.
And we all kind of went, let's pick our top four and get those positions, and then we'll flex our captain. So we've all kind of playing a little cagey as well, because I think we need some data before we start doing bold things like taking a flex and then captaining a position where we've seen people take two or maybe more from the same position. I feel like those weeks will come. But for the meantime, let's get Jackson's reaction here. How did that feel?
That was good, man. I pretty much got everyone. I mean, Kraft is the only one I wanted that I didn't get more so. I wrote down, I got 40 names here that are still left over that I'm just sort of going, was any of those better? Should I have taken them? What are my chances? But I think Pierce was probably the only one that I probably wanted, but I don't know where I could fit him in. So I'm quite happy with. We left a plethora of quarterbacks, right? Stafford, Lawrence, General, Ward, Williams, Scoff. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I'm happy with the team. So we're in for it here.
And that team is Fields, Eckler, Igbuka, Kincaid, Tyron Tracy as the captain. Take your side, Jordan Love and Jerome Ford, Jacoby Myers, Tucker Kraft, Roma Dunze as your captain. Did that kind of go how you're hoping?
Yeah, it was kind of the way I'd have written down. I was pretty confident that I was going to have a Dunze in there somewhere. It was just whether I took him first and then tried to hope Myers got all the way through. But I think I've just talked about him too much that it had to go the other way. So, and like what you've said, you definitely would have taken Myers before he got the fifth anyway. So it was pretty much the way I had to do it. I had Pearsall sort of written down as well, but he was another one where I'm like, if Jennings then ends up playing, it feels like Pearsall is as much wanted for me as if he didn't. And it's it's hard with some of these guys where you're waiting out the whole injury thing. So I was just like, well, I know Dunze right now is healthy, so I'm just going to take the guys I know their role and what they're doing. So Dunze, as a captain, it has some risk. You with Golden, I feel like we're kind of in the same place. I know yours is a rookie, mine's second year, but Dunze hasn't really shown anything either. So it's not without its risk.
Yeah, and my team here is McCarthy, Dobbins, Tillman, Pitts, Golden. I feel like it is the team that will either come dead last and score 25 points, or it will just fucking blow the curtains off because McCarthy will shell out, Golden will have a couple of, he'll have a long touchdown or whatever, and it'll blow it up. So this is kind of the... I'm trying to roll a fucking 6. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just trying to roll a fucking 6. A 4's not going to do it. I need a 6. So we'll see how that all winds up. But fellas, we've got to the end of starts of the week. We've got to the end of our first week of proper get into it gridiron fantasy analysis for the year. And Jackson, thank you so much for coming on this wild fucking journey with us.
Boys, I appreciate it. Hell of a week. I'm excited to listen to this and let's get to these games. So my 3 a.m. alarm is set. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe I should just nap through Sunday evening and just get up 2 o'clock and get the oven cooking, get some pies in there, get a cold beer ready, and strap it on for Monday. Tay, what's your Sunday going to look like leading into Monday?
Yeah, I always do the old 2:45 a.m. alarm, and I always laugh when Sleeper did that whole thing where you can set an auto sub, and I'm like, that's fucking shit. That's pussy. Get up like the rest of us, 2:45 a.m. and check whether your questionable guys are out. That's what sort of real NFL fan will do. So I'll be doing that anyway. I don't care about this auto sub shit. So I'll be checking if any questionables are out at 2:45, and then I always have this idea in my mind that I'll maybe go back to sleep around 3 and maybe get up at halftime, and I get one notification from one of my fantasy players. I'm like, oh, I gotta fucking check this out. And then all of a sudden, I'm awake for the entire thing, and I don't even know why I act like I'm going back to bed because I never do. So yeah, it's an amazing fucking feeling in all those Mondays. And then I actually feel like as the season goes on, your body gets used to it, and then you actually don't even need the recovery sleep as much on like Tuesday or Wednesday. You just get so used to it that it's just what your body expects after a while. So, mate, I can't wait for my body to just go through the absolute ringer. It's going to be great.
It does test you early, doesn't it? I mean, a lot of the newbies here at NFL, you'll get that first alarm and you'll start going, it's week one, it's going to be shit. I'll wake back up at halftime, maybe, I'm not missing too much. And you start telling yourself all these stories because the eyes just cannot commit. That's why I said, if you listen to Friday's episode, guys, sleep on the couch, sleep close to the coffee machine, let your missus have it free. It's easy to get up. It's close to the toilet. It's quiet. Coffee's within feet. Just position yourself so it's easy.
100%. This is a word from the wise. This is a man who's very experienced. I'd 100% endorse everything that Jack is saying here. Mate, you've been a real treasure to us for joining us. You've been an absolute find for the Aussie NFL community in the chat group we've got going. Mate, thank you so much for spending so much time with us over this weekend to kick us off on the right foot for season 2025, mate.
I'm excited, boys. Thanks so much for having me. Hopefully it was some words of wisdom there and I don't look stupid come Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, we're probably all going to look stupid come Tuesday afternoon, but at least we're going to look stupid looking good.
That's right. I'm unshowered since about 6 p.m. Let's go.
Say, if we had to count how long we go unshowered, sometimes that number's going to get a bit ugly.
Well, I look like Egg Booker on the screen, so I look great. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's it. No, that is a trim haircut, mate. We're going to get out of here. You can find everything that we do at the Aussie Gridiron Network at /Aussie Gridiron Network. There is the Aussie NFL half. It happened on Thursday, and it's a great time to break down what you might want to do to change your lineup. We've got some great mailbag questions in there from the show just gone. G'day, Gridiron guys. We're in on Saturday as well. They set you up for the entire season's kickoff this weekend. And here we are. We're at the end of the Sunday show. You can find us again returning for the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show on Friday next week. Make sure you get in. This is the last call to make sure you get there for week one with the Aussie Gridiron Network tipping competition. It is at /Aussie Gridiron Network. The winner of that competition is going to walk away with a sick custom NFL fantasy jersey. NFL jersey, and you can pick any player you want. You can probably make up a player, for goodness sake. If you just want your own name with your favorite number on there for your favorite team, you could probably do that too. To find that is through the mothership /Aussie Gridiron Network. If you're into local gridiron too, Manjot and I have put together a little of what we did when we went out and visited a couple of the local teams here in the ACT League this week as well in their preseason. And the season here for Gridiron in the ACT kicks off on the 13th of September. That is next weekend. Cannot wait for that. You can catch all of that live on Facebook and YouTube. Fellas, I'm going to get out of here. I'm tired of talking and you're tired of listening to me. All the best for week one, except for in starts of the week where I hope I handsomely kick your asses. See you, fellas. Hooroo.
Appreciate it, boys.
Your team sucks.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Thanks to the Aussie Gridiron Network, Australia's home for NFL and Australian gridiron content. Discover everything the network has to offer, including G'day Gridiron, Pastry Press, NFL, and Aussie Gridiron Today. Buy merch and win free stuff. Visit the mothership at Linktree /Aussie Gridiron Network. Hooroo.